The studio lights were bright, the audience buzzing with energy as the show kicked off. Whoopi Goldberg and Denzel Washington, two icons of Hollywood, sat opposite each other, the mood initially warm and light-hearted. Denzel was there to promote his latest film, a story centered around justice, heritage, and identity. The discussion quickly turned toward deeper topics, touching on politics, race, and immigration. It was during this moment that tension began to simmer. Whoopi, known for her candid and unfiltered opinions, made a remark that stopped the room cold. "If you don't like how things are here," she said with a pointed tone, "maybe you should go back to your country." There was a moment of silence. Some thought she misspoke. Others looked around in disbelief. But Denzel didn't flinch. He leaned forward, calm, collected, and about to make the studio remember who they were speaking to. There was a hush across the room as Denzel processed the comment. No shouting, no aggression, just a deep, focused stillness. He adjusted his posture, smiled politely, and responded with a calm authority that demanded respect. "My country," he said softly, "is here. I was born in Mount Vernon, New York. My ancestors built this country with their blood, sweat, and souls." You could hear a pin drop. His tone was steady, but the weight of his words was heavy. "I'm not a guest here, Whoopi. I'm the result of generations who survived and thrived despite being told they didn't belong." The audience sat in stunned silence. He didn't raise his voice, but it echoed louder than any outburst could have. His presence commanded the room, not through anger, but with undeniable dignity. Whoopi's expression changed. Her confident posture faltered just slightly. Denzel wasn't attacking, he was educating. "The problem isn't whether we belong," he continued. "The problem is that some still question if we ever did." He paused, letting the weight of that truth hang in the air. It's easy to tell someone to leave when you don't recognize how deeply rooted they are in the soil of this nation. My grandparents picked cotton. My parents fought in wars. I paid my dues like every other American. The audience began to nod, some even clapping softly. This wasn't a debate anymore. It was a moment of clarity. Denzel wasn't just responding to Whoopi. He was speaking to every person who had ever been told they weren't American enough. "I love this country," Denzel went on, his voice unwavering. "But loving something doesn't mean you accept everything about it blindly. It means you challenge it to be better. You call it out when it falls short. You fight for its soul." The audience now applauded louder, moved by the authenticity in his voice. "So, when I speak about injustice, inequality, or identity, it's not because I hate this country. It's because I believe it can be better, and I believe in the people who make it better every single day." His words resonated far beyond the studio walls. Viewers at home began tweeting. Clips were already being cut for viral circulation. What was meant to be a controversial moment became a teaching one. A powerful demonstration of grace under fire. Whoopi, to her credit, nodded slowly, visibly reflecting on what had just happened. "Maybe I didn't word that right," she said, her voice lower now, humbled. Denzel gently nodded. "Words matter," he said. "They shape how we see each other. And right now, more than ever, we need to choose them wisely." He wasn't just correcting her, he was offering a path to understanding. "We come from different walks of life, Whoopi, but we're all walking through the same storm. Let's not push each other away when we need unity most." The applause grew stronger, this time not just for Denzel's wisdom, but for his grace. It was a masterclass in responding to ignorance, not with rage, but with reality. As the show wrapped up, the atmosphere had completely shifted. What began as a tense, potentially explosive moment had turned into something much more meaningful. Denzel's calm demeanor, his unshakable sense of identity, and his refusal to be baited into a shouting match turned the entire narrative on its head. The producers, initially worried about backlash, saw the reaction pouring in on social media. People weren't angry. They were inspired. "This is how you handle disrespect," one viewer tweeted. Another wrote, "Denzel just gave a history lesson live on national TV. Bravo." The exchange would be replayed across platforms for days, dissected, analyzed, and praised for the dignity with which it was handled. Later that evening, Denzel posted a short message on his official account. "Respect is not loud. It is firm, and it speaks even when others don't listen." The post received hundreds of thousands of likes within hours. Celebrities, scholars, and activists shared his clip with messages of support. The moment wasn't just a viral sensation, it was a cultural checkpoint. A reminder that even in an age of outrage and division, calm and clarity can still cut through the noise. Denzel Washington, long respected as an actor, had reminded everyone why he was also revered as a leader. He turned a moment of potential offense into a powerful moment of truth. In the days that followed, media outlets picked up the story with headlines that varied from sensational to reflective. "Denzel claps back at Whoopi," some wrote. But others captured it more accurately. "Denzel teaches with grace." He didn't need to attack to defend himself. He simply told the truth, with full awareness of his heritage, his place in history, and his role as a voice for millions. Educational institutions shared the clip in classrooms. Cultural commentators highlighted it as a moment of radical poise. And fans everywhere felt pride, not just in Denzel, but in the strength of calm conviction. Whoopi later released a statement acknowledging the moment publicly. "We don't always get it right," she said. "But when someone like Denzel takes the time to speak truth, you listen." I did. It was a rare moment of humility, and it reinforced the impact of what had happened on that stage. Not every disagreement needs to end in bitterness. Sometimes it can end in growth. The clip would live online forever, but its message would live even longer in the hearts of those who saw it. Denzel had turned a potentially divisive soundbite into a timeless lesson. In an era where most headlines are forgotten in hours, this one endured, not because it was scandalous, but because it was real. Denzel Washington reminded the world that silence isn't always golden, but calm truth can be thunderous. He didn't storm out, didn't shout, didn't retaliate. He stood firm, spoke facts, and embodied grace. And in doing so, he didn't just silence a room. He spoke for generations who have always been told to go back when they've never left. That moment wasn't just TV. It was history being made quietly, yet powerfully, in front of the world.